Cameras recorded a programmer walking into the server room. No one ever saw him walk out. And 19 years later, his encrypted files were finally unlocked. Chicago, 2024. 3 a.m. rain drums against the windows of a glass skyscraper, and the city below looks like a circuit board, blinking lights, road lines, cold neon. Ethan Walker sits in his apartment in the half-dark. 3 monitors glow in his face like 3 judges. On the center screen, endless lines of code. On the left, logs, timestamps, errors he's learned to hate by name. On the right, a folder with one label, Walker_2005. 5 years. 5 years he's been trying to break into his father's last legacy. And then, suddenly, the algorithm stops. Not error. Not access denied. Not invalid key. Silence. And then, line by line, the encrypted text starts turning into readable files. Ethan forgets to breathe. His hands shake. Not just from fear, though fear is there. But because he understands, this is it. Truth. Or empty nothing forever. The first file opens dryly, finance. Documents. Schemes. Payments. Transfers through shell companies. Names. Swiss accounts. Amounts hundreds of millions of dollars. And every transaction ends in March 2005. Ethan swallows hard. Because he knows what happened in March 2005. That was the month his father disappeared. Michael Walker. Lead programmer at Northbridge Systems. The man who came in for the night shift, and never walked out of the server room again. The second file, mail. Hundreds show up. Employee threads. Discussions of gray deals, bribes, kickbacks. And among all of it, one email, dated March 14, 2005. One day before the disappearance. Ethan reads it in silence. Every word hits like a punch. I have enough proof. Tomorrow I'm turning everything over to the FBI. If anything happens to me, the files will open automatically in 20 years. Ethan leans back slowly in his chair. 20 years. Why 20? Because his father understood how evil works. If you want the people who did it to relax, give them time. Let them believe it's over. That the case is dead. That they won. And only then let the truth crawl out into the light, like an old scar that never really healed. The third file is simply named video. Ethan hits play. Black and white CCTV footage. March 15, 2005. 2:43 a.m. The server room. Rows of racks. Blinking lights. And at the terminal, his father. Michael types fast. Like he doesn't have time. Then he turns his head. As if he heard something. As if someone called his name. The image jerks. Static. The screen turns striped for a few seconds, like a broken tape. 3 minutes pass. When the image stabilizes again, the server room is empty. No Michael. No fight. No panic. Just dark stains on the floor. Ethan doesn't finish the clip. He grabs his phone and dials. 2 hours later, an FBI agent sits in his apartment. Daniel Harper. Mid-40s. Calm. Watchful. The kind of man who doesn't make big conclusions until every detail bleeds confirmation. Harper scrolls through the files in silence, making notes on a tablet. Then he looks up. Your father collected proof of a corruption scheme. These numbers aren't small. But why did the files open only now? Ethan rubs his eyes. He was a cryptography genius. Modified the encryption. Built in a time delay. They were supposed to open in 2025, exactly 20 years. But I broke in earlier. Harper nods slightly. Smart. And dangerous. Ethan glances back at the video. I couldn't wait any longer. The next morning, Harper goes to Northbridge Systems. The company still operates in the same glass building in downtown Chicago. Only the sign is new. And the people inside look even more certain that nothing can touch them. In the lobby, a secretary with a perfect smile greets him. Management is waiting for you in the conference room. Inside, 3 people. Victoria Kane. CFO. Early 50s. Ice-cold confidence. Expensive suit. A look like a calculator, no emotion, just math. Marcus Reed. Head of security. Big, controlled, speaks little, watches everything. Patrick Shaw. CTO. Thin, tense, fingers constantly twitching a pen like it's holding his nerves together. Victoria speaks first. We know why you're here. Ethan Walker called me an hour ago. He's panicking. Harper looks straight at her. Why did he call you specifically? Victoria doesn't blink. I'm his godmother. After Michael disappeared, I basically became his family. She slides a folder forward. Internal investigation, 2005. We looked for Michael ourselves. Hired private investigators. Checked everything. Harper flips through it. Reports. Statements. Records. And it all looks too perfect. Too convenient. On one page, a group photo from a company event. Harper points to a woman standing next to Victoria. Who was that? For a split second, Victoria tightens. A microskip in her face. Then she snaps back into control. My sister. Allison Kane. She worked in accounting until 2003. Where is she now? Dead. Car accident. November 2003. How was she identified? Dental records. Jewelry. The body was badly damaged. Harper doesn't rush. Where were you the night Michael disappeared? Victoria answers without thinking. Home. Left the office around 7. Went to bed around 11. The concierge can confirm. Cameras too. Marcus Reed cuts in, calm. I patrolled the perimeter. Last saw Walker at 9 p.m. He entered the server room. At 11 o'clock the door was closed, lights on. At 1 o'clock, same. At 3 o'clock there was a power flicker in the area. Harper raises an eyebrow. You didn't go in? No authority. Access was limited to 4 people, Victoria, Walker, Patrick, and me for emergencies. But my code was only used with approval. Patrick Shaw bursts out, fast. I was out of town. Conference in San Francisco. Flew out the 14th morning, came back the 15th at 6:30 a.m. Went straight here. The door was locked. My access didn't work. We called security, broke the lock. Nobody inside, blood on the floor. And a strange smell. Like medical. Harper stores every word. Because when you hear medical smell, you almost never hear accident. After the meeting, Harper goes down to security. In the break room sits an elderly guard, Paul. Paul has worked this building since the late 90s. Harper asks, do you remember the night Walker disappeared? Paul nods. How could I forget? Good guy. Always said hello. Not like today's people, they walk past like your furniture. Did you see anything unusual? Paul thinks. Yeah. Victoria Kane came back around midnight. Said she forgot important documents. She stayed about 40 minutes. Maybe an hour. Harper's voice goes slow. Strange. She said she was home. Paul shrugs. And one more thing. Someone was watching her. A woman in a dark coat, across the street, under the trees. When Victoria left, that woman disappeared too. Can you describe her? Didn't see the face. But the body. Looked like Victoria. I even thought, maybe a relative. Then I remembered her sister was supposed to be dead. The word sister lands in Harper's mind like a nail. He goes back and starts digging for any CCTV from 2005. Most archives are long gone. But one camera from a nearby parking lot survived, partially. And there it is, blurry footage. Victoria's car at the building. From 11:52 p.m. to 12:47 a.m. longer than she claimed. And in the background, barely visible under the trees, a figure. A woman in a long coat. Harper opens Michael Walker's files again. In the emails he finds one from March 7, 2005. Short. Tense. V is deeper in this than she shows. Found transfers to her personal offshores. But there's someone else. From the past. Yesterday I saw a familiar face near my house. A woman was following me. If anything happens, look for a ghost from the past. A ghost from the past. Then another discovery. A photo, Victoria Kane on a yacht in Miami. February 2005. Next to her, a person in glasses and a cap. Face hidden. But on the right forearm, a tattoo, a stylized dragon. Harper summons Marcus Reed. Do you know that tattoo? Reed tenses. Dragon, that's what some people called a certain person in the underworld. Showed up in 2004 after Victor Archer died. Big boss. Rumor was. Dragon took over his business. You've seen him? A couple times from a distance. Came to the company. Always glasses, always a cap. But strange manners. Too refined for that kind of person. And the voice. Raspy. Like a whisper. Harper studies the photo again. And then he sees it. On the ring finger, a ring. Delicate. Female. With a stone. He slides the photo toward Reed. Look. Reed goes quiet for a long moment, then exhales. Damn. Yeah. That's a woman's hand. So dragon isn't a he. Dragon is a she. And if it's a she, then who? That night, Ethan calls Harper again. His voice shakes. I found more. My dad hid files in the family archive. It's a journal. Last entry, March 14th. Harper arrives in 30 minutes. Ethan turns the monitor. Now I know the truth. Dragon is Allison Kane. She's alive. She faked her death. Came back under another name, working with what's left of Archer's crew. I suspect she's the one who took Archer out. Victoria doesn't know her sister is alive. They're using her in the dark. Tomorrow I'll show Victoria the proof. If she's with me, we can do this together. If not, I'll have to do it alone. And then the line that physically hurts Ethan, Ethan, son. If you're reading this, something went wrong. Know this, your godmother is not guilty. She's being lied to, too. And if Allison comes for me, I'm going to fight to the end. Harper leans back. The picture is clear now. And it's a cold picture. Next, a search of Victoria Kane's home. A safe. Offshore transfers. contracts, and a medical report confirming Allison's death. Victoria holds up like steel at first. But when Harper shows her the yacht photo, she goes pale. "Where did you get that?" "From Walker's files." "Who's next to you?" "I don't know." "Some investor said he was Archer's partner." Harper points to the ring. "Look closer." Victoria takes the photo. Her hands start to tremble. "That's a ring." Allison had one exactly like that. A matching set. "Gift for our 18th birthday." She looks up. "Are you saying my sister is alive?" And in that moment, her voice breaks. The truth is ugly. All these years, she could have been signing papers, moving money, making decisions, thinking it was business. When really, she was being controlled. Carefully. Intelligently. By someone who shared her blood. Harper asks quietly, "Why didn't she come to you directly?" Victoria stares at the floor. "Because I would have rejected her. After everything. And because she had problems. Psychological. She could pretend to be normal." Then Victoria adds one more thing. "Before her death, we fought. Badly. She found out I was talking to a man she liked." Harper, "Who?" A long pause. "Michael Walker." And right there, this stops being about money. Stops being about corruption. Because now it's about obsession. Jealousy. And that thought, if he's not mine, he's no one's. Harper pulls the file on the 2003 accident. The report is short: car left the road, crashed, caught fire. Body identified by dental records and jewelry. No witnesses. But the firefighter's report has a detail: the fire intensity was abnormally high. Like there was an accelerant inside. Harper calls the dentist who did the identification. The man is retired now. And he says, honestly, the match was good enough. But the remains were in such condition there couldn't be 100% certainty. Good enough. In cases like this, those words sound like a sentence against logic itself. Next, Allison's finances before her death. 1 month before the crash, she withdraws about $200,000 in cash. Officially, lost it in casinos. But checks show, she was never in those casinos. And another thing, 1 week before the crash, she buys a one-way ticket to Argentina. Under the name Allison Drago. Argentina's immigration database shows, a person with that name entered the country 1 week after Allison Kane was killed. So, she didn't die. She just disappeared the right way. And then she came back. Harper looks at Ethan and Victoria. If this is true, then in 2005 she knew Michael was about to go to the FBI. And she had 3 minutes of darkness to do what no camera could see. Only one question remains: how do you remove a man from a locked server room? Harper gets the building plans. And finds something marked in 2005 as sealed. An old vent shaft running into a technical basement. And below that a Cold War fallout shelter under the building. Forgotten. Closed. Useless to everyone, except someone who needs a place where no one can hear. Harper goes down. Finds a grate. The welds were cut clean. Then disguised. Professional. He crawls in with a flashlight. And after a few dozen meters, he reaches a room that makes even a seasoned agent feel wrong. In the corner, a metal bed with straps. A force stand. Boxes of medications. Everything covered in dust, but not the kind of dust that always lived here. The kind of dust that settles on a secret. Scratch marks on the wall. Words carved with nails. Initials. Date, 03/15. And below faint, like the hand was failing, Ethan. Dad loves you. Labs confirm Michael Walker's DNA. He was here. Alive. In the corner, a leather notebook. A woman's handwriting. Harper compares it to Allison's old university records. Match. Inside, cold notes. Like accounting. Like a schedule. 3 o'clock, he woke up. Screams. Threatens. Let him. No one hears down here. Sedative works well, he can speak, but can't resist. Then worse, because it's not a moment. It's a plan. He doesn't understand. I don't need money. I need him. And then, tomorrow we fly out. Papers ready. A new life in Argentina. Harper checks flight records. March 23, 2005. Flight to Buenos Aires. Passenger list, Michael Voron and Allison Drago. Airport cameras show a woman in medical scrubs wheeling a man in a wheelchair. He's in bad shape, head down, not resisting. Days later, Argentina sends back a response. Michael Voron died April 2, 2005 in a private clinic. Cause, acute heart failure linked to an overdose of sedatives. Body cremated at the request of the wife. Harper speaks to a doctor from that clinic. The doctor remembers a Russian-speaking couple. But more important is this, she was too calm. Too cold. She insisted on immediate cremation. And this is where people ask, did she want to kill him? Or did she want to keep him and his body just couldn't take it? But in stories of obsession, the answer often sounds like this: when a person realizes they won't get love, they settle for control. And when they run out of tools, they go for the final option, if not with me, then with no one. Years later, Allison disappears again. Investigators say she went to Thailand. And in 2019, she dies there in a hospital. This time officially. But before she dies, she leaves a letter for Victoria. It's not dramatic. No, I changed. Just the terrifying honesty of someone who can't feel normally, but can explain exactly how she destroyed lives. I loved him. Painfully. Wrong. Destructively. I'm not justifying it. I only want you to understand. And at the end, a gift that feels like mockery, accounts. $20 million. Give it to Ethan. Ethan reads it and goes quiet for a long time. Then he says something no one expects: give that money to a missing person search foundation. Let those dirty dollars at least help someone get a life back. Or get the truth. That's how the Michael Walker Foundation is born. Irony? Yeah. A programmer who vanished from a server room. Left behind code that, 19 years later, restarts the search for other missing people. Ethan flies to Buenos Aires to say goodbye, at least symbolically. At Recoleta Cemetery, he finds a grave under a different name, the one his father left under. He places white roses and whispers, "Hi, Dad. It's me. I'm 27. I became a programmer like you. Only I work in cybersecurity. I protect people from digital threats." Ironic, right? He talks for a long time. About breaking his father's code. About spending 19 years thinking he was abandoned. About how terrifying it is to realize you lived inside the wrong story. And about how now he wants no family to be trapped in that same question. Then he leaves. And it feels like the end. But here's the problem with codes of silence: sometimes they don't end. Later, Ethan goes to the memorial grave in Chicago. And he sees someone has already been there. Fresh white roses lie on the stone. Next to them, a note. 2 words. Forgive me. Initials, AK. Ethan stands there, silent. Then he breathes in. And tells himself the hardest truth of all: some secrets are better left unbroken. Some ghosts live not in documents, but in people's minds. And if you won, your job now is not revenge. It's building a future where there are fewer stories like this. Because Michael Walker didn't just encrypt files. He encrypted a message for his son: when you're strong enough, the truth will open. And it did. Only one question remains: how many more server rooms are out there? Where someone walked in for a minute and never walked out.